Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and anyone who has taken time to watch this video. Um, I am here today for us to have some kind of important discussion. And this particular video is specifically for the youth, largely the educated youth in Ghana. Somewhere around 18th of this month, which I believe, 18th of July, which I believe happened to be the birthday of the late president of South Africa. I was driving to office when and on the process I was listening to radio, and there was a discussion about what Nelson Mandela did for his country. Then I remember what Nkrumah did for Ghana. And then I remembered what Dr. Martin Luther King did for Black Americans. In all those instances, Nelson Mandela fought white rule or white supremacy. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah fought white supremacy because that was British rule. And Dr. Martin Luther King fought white supremacy by fighting for the rights of Black people in America. Ladies and gentlemen, there are several men and women in Africa who also did the same thing. But as I said, I'm going to concentrate everything I'm going to say on Ghana. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah fought the British. He fought for our independence just so we will have access to our own resources and manage it the way we want to manage it. Just so we will have access to better schools that will fit our environment and that will be accepted by our people. He did so that we'll have hospitals, and he did so that we'll have our freedom to levy and collect taxes that will come to benefit us. And we thank him so much for doing this. All these people had foreigners to fight just so they could get us what they want. Today, we don't have them. We, the educated youth of today, do not have to fight foreigners for our own resources, for better education, for better hospitals, for better roads, and all that you can name. We have our own brothers and sisters, our fathers and mothers who are manning these activities. I want you to ask yourself, how better are we that we are now managing all this? In Ghana specifically, there are schools where children sit on the ground to learn, yet we produce timber. In Ghana, there are hospitals that are sitting somewhere incomplete, yet the hospitals that are there are crying of what? No bed. So when someone goes there, there will not be bed to admit the fellow. In fact, there are hospitals that run out of basic materials such as gloves, and you name them. And in Ghana, there are places that if the president wants to go, he will have to use some other means, maybe helicopters, not necessarily a car, because even his VAs cannot go there. Today, our resources are managed by our own people. Are we really enjoying these resources? Can you conveniently say that what our forefathers fought for is working today? Now, you should sit down and realize that the fight that our forefathers fought was in layers. The layer they dealt with was to fight the foreigners who were having access to them. That was what Nkrumah did. The second layer, which we are facing today, 60 something years after the effort to drive away the foreigners, the fight we have today is that of our own brothers and sisters who are wicked enough to deny us access to the resources that our forefathers fought and collected for us. If we do not fight this, what will be our legacy? What are we leaving behind so that when the next generation comes, they will say, Nkrumah fought and drove away the white people, and then our fathers fought to make sure that our own people who were cheating us stop cheating us. There is only one way we can do that. We do not have to use sticks, we don't have to use machetes, we don't have to use guns. We have to use our education, and we have to use our numbers. What I'm saying here is not affecting a singular political party. It is impacting NDC that left power, impacting MPP that is currently in power. For the smaller political parties, I'm not going to talk about them because they have not been in power and we haven't seen what they can do. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to draw our attention as educated youth to something. Our parents sold their properties. Some sold their clothing, the clothes that they were wearing. Some borrowed money. Some sold the only parcel of lands that they had to educate us. Do you know why they were doing this? So we get education, learn, get exposure, and then come out and fight for them so that our children and their grandchildren will not suffer the way we suffered because our fathers were not able to make it to school. Let me ask you something. Among the schools we have been showing where children are sitting on the floor, have you ever seen a politician's child among them? In the public schools, have you ever seen a politician's child over there struggling like we are struggling? Have you ever seen the politician's wife, the politician's son in one of the public hospitals where there are no beds? Have you ever seen that, heard that a politician was sent to Kwalebo and there was no bed to admit him? Most of their children are actually outside Ghana attending schools. So they are preparing the road for us. If we want, we can take it. If we don't, we should forget. So, when shall our children be able to match their children? They are building a system where they will continue to be higher and we will be lower all the time. Because they give us the bad and then they send their kids somewhere else for the good. So I want you to ask yourself right now, since your father sent you to school, since your parents saw you through school, what have you done to change, to impact the lives that they found undesirable and thought by educating you, you would be able to help them change it? What have you done to impact it? Please. And the politicians who are cheating our fathers and mothers, who are killing our educational system, who are making our health facilities fail, who are killing us daily by denying us basic health. Are you not one of them who is one of the people who aid them to cheat us like they are cheating? Aren't you one of them? If you are, I want to tell you this, and listen to me carefully. For each and every one of us, our education is meaningless. It is useless. In fact, our illiteracy will be better than the kind of education we have if we fail to use it to make life better for the average Ghanaian, to make life better for our parents, and to make life better for the children who are yet to be born. It will be useless. Your father did not send you to school to come out and become a photographer for a politician. No. And your father did not send you to become an unsolicited secretary who will sit on Facebook and be writing theories to defend a politician through that very politician, you are not able to get work to do. Every single year, Ghanaian universities produce several graduates, but no job to employ them. In fact, you, the one listening to this video or watching this video, might be one of them. Yet, you use the little money you earn to buy airtime to come and sit on Facebook and insult people or write theories to defend that very politician when you don't have a job. It is time we rise, and we can only get up. We can only rise if we come together. We have a whole lot of power, but if we don't know how to use it, it will be useless. If we come together, right now we go and form lines in front of politicians' house to beg money. If we form a group, if we come together as the youth of the country, as the educated youth, if we come together and create a solid union and demand from the politician that they do what is right, the next day the politician will be the one who will be coming to our places to beg for power, not the other way around. We wouldn't go there to beg money because we will have our own resources. They would have done the right thing, and then we will have their own resources. Think about this. You are writing theories to defend a politician today who is killing your educational system. The very educational system, you will give birth to children who will come out and go and attend. Think about it. 100 Ghana cedis or even 1,000 Ghana cedis is what you are taking to destroy the future of your own children. 100 Ghana cedis or 1,000 Ghana cedis is what you are taking to make sure that there is no bed in the next hospital closer to you for your child, for your wife, for your father, for your mother, for your sister to be admitted when they are sick. Think about it. And I want you to look around you. You see politicians who are having about 10 cars, yet the hospital behind them has no ambulance. You see politicians who are having about 10 houses, yet the hospital in front of them lack beds to admit people, lack basic facilities in the hospital. Ladies and gentlemen, why are we doing this to ourselves? Can't we stand up against the politicians in Ghana? Can't we? They are taking it for granted, and we have to see it now or it will be too late. They say anything they want, they do whatever they like because they know that our allegiance to them is unshakable. Whether they kill our parents or they kill our wives, we will still support them. That is what they are doing. Let us stand up. We don't have the white people to fight. We have our own brothers to challenge, to think, to realize that they are serving us. Right now, various parties are undergoing their primaries. I assure you, there is a graduate somewhere who is accepting 100 cedis to select someone who cannot do the job. Why? Why are you doing this to your parents? Why are you doing this to your children? Why are you doing this to your siblings? And why are you doing it to your wife? Use your brain and ask yourself, if that very politician is coming to serve you, why will he pay you to serve you? Who will sweep your room for you every day and still pay you to sweep it? Does that make sense? If they come with the money, these are the questions you have to ask them. What are you paying me for? You are paying me so my child will not be able to get better education? You are paying me so that when my wife is sick and I take her to hospital, there will not be any bed to admit her? You are paying me so that the road network to my community will continue to be in this deplorable condition? Is that why you are paying me? Ask them those questions. Ladies and gentlemen, it is sad. It is very, very sad. This is a call to you, to me, to them, and to all of us. Think, watch this video as the last thing of the night and sleep over it and think and wake up the next day and ask yourself why you are unemployed, yet see nothing wrong with what your politicians are doing. Why there is no better clinic in your community, yet you don't see anything wrong with what the politicians are doing. While your children go to school and sit on the floor to write, to learn, yet you see nothing wrong with what is going on. Sleep and wake up and think about it. And then re-question your allegiance to the political party you are supporting without questions. I'm going to leave this to you. If we fail to fight like Dr. Kwame Nkrumah and co did to save our resources from the hands of the colonial masters, if we fail to fight and get our resources to benefit the masses, if we fail to fight to retrieve our resources from the greedy politicians, our children shall curse us. This is your call. This is my call. This is everyone else's call. Teachers go, a teacher can teach for 30 years, and when that teacher retires, the pension that he will get cannot take care of 3 kids in school. Yet, the politicians give themselves pension every year, and that pension can sponsor 100 people to go through school. And you are sitting there, clapping hands for them, for nothing. How does that make sense? What pension is available for the farmers who farm to take care of the country? The cocoa farmers, what pension do they have for them? What pension is available for agri extension officers? Ladies and gentlemen, let us think. Let us think. Let us rise up. Otherwise, this system will continue, where one party comes, certify his family members and friends, and then go, another one comes, certify the family members and friends. This is the way it's going to be going. So if your family member or friend is not lucky enough to be in it, then forget it. Some of you, and I mean you, the one watching this video, are having qualifications that are better than some people, yet they are occupying positions that you have applied 100 times for and you couldn't get it. Question yourself, why? So why do you keep this kind of stupid allegiance? Supporting the party for nothing? Supporting a politician blindly? What is the use of our education if it cannot salvage us from what we can prevent using what we have learned? What is the use of our education? I challenge you to rise. I challenge you to think, and I challenge you to act. It is either now or never. God bless our homeland, Ghana. Thank you.